Hi, Roy here. I just want to say hello and just talk about trust. I also want to talk about truth. You know, there's your truth, there's my truth, and there is the truth. And, there's also the facts. It's interesting. People talk about the stock market and how brilliant it's been in this last 12 years. It rose from, you don't remember the numbers, but it rose in March 2009 from about 3,200 points and just recently got to 6,800 points. So it's a substantial growth, more than double in 12 years. And they're all talking about, they're already saying how great this is. It's a bit of a rocky road to get there, but it got there. So they're the facts. What's the truth? Well, in October, roughly 2007, it was about 6,800 and it fell by more than 50%. So they didn't mention that. So in actual fact, over the last 12 years, it's actually got back to the price it was. So if you're a person who've been in this and working for the last 20 years, you're kind of putting your money in, you're building it up in the stock market. This is the All Ordinaries Index. And the bottom line is you got to 6,800 points, which is the average of the All Ordinaries is the average of the whole market in Australia. Fell by 50%, and then for the last 12 years has been working its way back up. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't call that a very smart thing, and it's certainly not the truth. So I guess the truth and your truth, my truth, the truth, isn't those beautiful birds? That's the truth. The facts, it's just interesting, and we are a mirror of our truth. We get the truth we want to know. So you may not be interested in the stock market, you may not be even interested in what the All Ordinaries is doing. What I am talking about is a truth for me that's about your financial independence, and it's about being serious about your affairs, and you must really get good at either the stock market, if not the property market, or if not the property market, business. Now, hey Fiona, a couple of people coming online, well done. All I know is your job is at risk and it's going to get worse. So unless you invest in yourself, that's my truth, to really make a difference here. Now, I also want to just talk about this investing. There's a difference between investing and spending. People spend time with their children. I call it investing. People spend time buying a book or spend money on a book. I call that investing. People spend money doing a course with me or getting a mentor. I call that investing. In fact, if you get to the place where everything that you spend is an investment, even your food, the quality of your food that you spend is investing in you, your body. The time that you spend, my beautiful PA Karen says, a lot of women complain about, I have to pick up my kids from school. And she talks about that she gets to pick up her children at school. She gets the privilege of that. That's a big deal to me. It's a big difference, a big distinction. And perhaps what we really need here is a mentor to hold us to account, a coach, if you will. And if it's not going to be me or our company, get somebody, because there's a couple of questions I really want to ask you. What's it costing you to operate like this? What's it truly costing you? And I want you to write that down. Second question, what's the payoff for this? That's interesting. What's the payoff? And the third question is, how long are you going to keep putting yourself before you put your life off before you truly live it? How long are you going to keep putting your life off before you truly live it? Now, let's just get back quickly. What's it costing you? My goodness. I was speaking to a guy today. He's 44 years old. He has no house, he's got a job. He's a chef. His cat's sick. He says the only thing in his life is his cat. He's working at trying to come to our program. He's broken up from his wife. It's been devastating for him. And I said to him, what's it cost you to operate from this? He says, it's just so hard, Roy. And I said, well, you're not a victim really, but you're acting like you are one. And I'm not saying these things aren't important, they are. But, he actually used a word, my cat is my entire life. And the cat's very sick, it's 17 years old. And I said, well, man, if that's your entire life, you haven't got a lot of life. Because all cats, they die, and particularly 117. He said, yeah, I'm getting ready for that. And I said, well, but he's in tears. And I'm saying, well, what's the payoff for this? What's the payoff? And the payoff, you get a lot of, I don't know, he doesn't consciously know that he's getting a lot of support, I suppose, a lot of love. All communications, communication for love. He's getting a lot of attention. He's getting a lot of that sort of support. But the cost to me is astronomical. And really, if you really look at it, emotional fitness is so important. 20% of our program is emotional fitness. We are going to be hit by things that are devastating, like breakups, marriages, cats that die, children that get ill. I mean, it happens. However, it's your ability to be able to be resilient, to recover, to focus on your intention, as opposed to be taken out. And you see people on TV, my son died or my wife was killed or so, and I will never get over this, they say. I will never recover. I will never forgive look, I have such empathy for these people. I would be devastated. However, to use the language, I will never get over this. My goodness. Wow, what a cost, what a price you pay for this. So I want to just sort of bring this to a head if I can. And you might think, gee, Roy, you've not got a lot of heart. I got the biggest heart in the world on this. I just want you to be fulfilled and happy, and success without fulfillment is total failure. So you want to live your life. And the end result, as I said to this young man, is what are you focusing on? The only thing that grows in your life is what you focus on and what you give energy to. The second thing is to live intentionally. Now, there will be grieving. All of that will happen. Depression is anger forced inwards, and we got 20-30% of our population experiencing depression at any one time. But I need you to wake up. I need you to get conscious about your life. I need you to focus on your outcome, not to focus on what you don't want. And there it is. So we're talking about the truth. We're talking about facts, and we're talking about my truth, your truth. But hopefully there is a truth for you. And I'm also talking about trust. Trust is a currency. And the amount of trust you have for others is based on the amount of trust you have for yourself. In simple terms, as Stephen Covey said, the late Stephen Covey, beautiful man, he said, trust is simply confidence, and distrust is simply suspicion. So it's whether you have a confident life or a suspicious life, whether what you're focusing on, how you're living intentionally, whether you're really conscious, and whether you're really accept the fact that you are only consciousness and energy, and whether you're willing to really take personal responsibility for your life and really focus on what it is you want to do with the rest of your life. So we're here to help. We're here to do whatever. If any of this makes sense to you, you got to get good at property, business, shares. You got to get good at something, and you probably need a coach. You need someone to hold you to account if you're a normal human. So look forward to talking to you. I'm Roy McDonald. We're with OneLife Group. Beautiful company. We help a lot of people. It's not easy. It's just simple. There are no guarantees, but there are real intentional moves here to make. And I'll leave you with one thought. Change is inevitable. We're in a massive changing world. The robots are here, and there's more of them coming. And if you think your job's going to be there in 5 years or 10 years the way it was, you're not. You are actually asleep.